Michelangelo Antonioni's 1966 blow-up is not so much a mystery drama thriller as it is a film about the doubts and insecurities of a seemingly successful artist. It follows a few days in the life of Thomas, a London photographer who, after having taken some pictures in a park, notices that he had accidentally photographed a murder. Yet by the end of the film, it is revealed to us that there was in fact no murder, and that he had imagined the whole scenario all by himself. In 1967, the French literary theorist Roland Barthes wrote The Death of the Author in an effort to explain how a text's meaning does not come from its author, but rather from a much broader structure of cultural codes and ideas. If we look at humor, for example, we should ask ourselves if it's solely thanks to the comedian that the joke is funny, or if our laughter is but a consequence of wider cultural norms and events over which the comedian has little control. This kind of structuralist thinking can be extended to all creative pursuits, including Thomas's photography or even the filmmaking of Antonioni himself. So if one's creations, be it books, paintings, photographs, or movies, are reliant upon a much broader cultural structure, then do the author, artist, or filmmaker really matter? Is the artist but a silent mime? Is the creator merely a recreator of that which is already in place? You're watching Screen View Mirror. I'm your host, Emma, and this is my take on Blow Up. No matter how confident or occupied he appears to be, Thomas does not feel grounded in his work. He is passionate about his photography, but fears that he and he alone will be the only one to understand the intent and purpose behind it. This fear of not having direction or purpose in his creative endeavors is manifested in his detached behavior.
I'm fed up with those bloody bitches. Wish I had tons of money. Then I'd be free.
Free to do what? Free like him?
Over the course of the film, we witness Thomas's surface-level friendships, his senseless attraction toward antiques, and his abrasive treatment of the fashion models that work for him.
Wake up! I asked you to smile. What's the matter? Forgotten what a smile is. Hey!
Indeed, sex, drugs, and rock and roll are but the consequences of his artistic insecurities. And it is due to these insecurities that Thomas imagines having captured something important in his photographs, in this case, a murder. He revels in the idea that someone desperately wants the negatives back because he wants his art to have attention. He's already acknowledged as a person, and he has many people that claw and depend on him. Yet he wants that same kind of attention and dependency for his artwork. He wants his art to survive on its own. He wants his photographs to be so meaningful that they become somewhat indispensable. The main message of Barthes' essay is that nothing new can be produced. Take my videos, for example, which rely upon other authors and other movies. The writer, the creator, simply reassembles other knowledge and brands it as their own. And so that other knowledge does not carry any new unique meaning or originality. This is why Thomas is afraid of the artistic dead end. Personally, I disagree with Barthes' analysis. While there's certainly an established cultural and literary and artistic structure, it doesn't mean that the author or artist cannot challenge that structure or add value to it. It doesn't mean that the creator cannot erase the limits of that structure or expand the boundaries of his own imagination. You can better understand a creation if you understand its context, and that includes the creator himself. Just take Fellini's 8½, for example. The individual is ultimately indispensable to his or her creations. There can be no reader if there is no author. There can be no audience if there is no film. This is why the birth of the reader is not at the cost of the death of the author. It's in fact the author that gives birth to the reader, the creator that allows for the critic. And any creator is aware that art, meaningful art, is not universal, Some people simply don't enjoy photography, others don't care about movies, and this should make people like Thomas or Antonioni lifeless artists. At the end of the film, Antonioni depicts Thomas playing imaginary tennis with the mimes, thereby acknowledging his imagination and making peace with all the uncertainties that come with creating art. As Thomas himself dissolves out of the frame, the viewer understands that Antonioni too has come to terms with his own imagination. The tennis ball for Thomas is what Thomas was for Antonioni: a prop, a character, an imagination, used in service of creativity. Alright, so I hope you guys enjoyed this week's video. Keep watching movies, keep reflecting on cinema, and reflecting cinema to others. Stay tuned, I'll see you next week. This was Screen View Mirror.